have the ball at their own 33-yard line. They'll send receiver to the top of your screen, which is number 15. And you'll have to bear with me because the the numbers were given in alphabetical order. 15 is Matt Overs. There's the handoff from Henry Green. He hands it off to the first man going through, and I believe that was
number 36, Jim.
Harvey was the ball carrier, number 36. Picks up about 3 yards on the play, gets it up to the 36-yard line. It'll be second down and about 7.
This Vineland line played very well against Pemberton. Of course, again, they were giving up a lot in size, but that didn't bother them that much.
Okay, it's going to be second down, 7 yards to go. The quarterback is Henry Green. He has a setback of Henderson and Harvey behind him. In motion goes
flag on the play.
Back, and he's dropped with a flag down.
That's
Henry
William
Green
Hicks.
is dropped hard.
William Hicks really came in there hard. Now see if the flag is against Atlantic City. That's Vineland certainly will take the penalty.
So Hicks making a nice hit on Harvey, and it looks like the penalty is going to be a legal procedure against Atlantic City, which I will be declined because of Hicks's sacking of the quarterback back at the 27-yard line. So it'll bring a third down now, long yardage, third and about 15.
He lost about 9 yards on that play.
Henry Green, the quarterback, calling the signals. Green looking, and he's dropped again. Good defensive play there by Willie Hart, number 43 for the Fighting Clan, pushing the Vikings back towards their own goal line, now inside the 20, Tony, at the 19. Some good defensive play by the Clan.
Yeah, just outweighed them, but they still, the first quarter particularly, Vineland really moved. Let's see, number 34 is going to kick. Bill Hicks in the backfield, number 20.
The score here, first down, 14 yards to go. The handoff going to the first man in the line.
There's
John
Buckaloo.
Inside the 10, down to about the 9-yard line.
John carried the ball 4 times against Pemberton for 3 yards, but you know from last year's experience, John carried the ball a lot more than that, and John's a very good, strong runner. He put a little bit of weight over the summer.
Good guy, 5'11", 180, nice size in the wishbone. Chris Visso calling the signals at quarterback. A little bit of movement by Atlantic City, no flag down. The handoff goes to Kevin Hart, and Hart stacked up for about a yard loss. Good defensive play by the left side of that Atlantic City defense. It's really tough to give you the Atlantic City. Corey Landing, number 5, was over there as the roster from Atlantic City came through in alphabetical order. And number 2 is the last player on the list, is Wayne Williams, and number 3 is the third from last, is Brian Weiner. He always does that.
Last week, Vineland did go around the outside. They pinched the end in quite a bit, and they just tried to do it on that play. But Atlantic City expected that.
Third down and 6 for the Vikings. Chris Visso calling the signals. And he hands it off. Going inside was William Hicks. Hicks is down to about the 7-yard line. Not enough for first down.
The quarterback keeper, Jim.
Oh, I'm sorry. He faked me out, Tony.
Well,
I saw 3. I thought it was
that's right.
Hicks. It was 1-3. Malachi Washington made the stop, so it'll be fourth down now and about 4 yards to go. The ball is at the Atlantic City 7-yard line, and Vineland calls a timeout. With a timeout on the field, the score, Vineland nothing, Atlantic City nothing. We'll pause for a moment. It's like Vineland with Loftus is going to attempt a field goal. Greg Loftus is going to kick it from the 15. It'll be a 25-yard field goal. If he makes it, the kick is up, and the kick looks to be good.
Oh,
The kick is good.
Oh, boy.
With 8:13 remaining in the first quarter, Greg Loftus booms it through a 25-yard field goal, and the Fighting Clan takes the lead 3-0 over Atlantic City. We'll be back with more Vineland High School football on Channel 2 in just a moment. Jim Quinn, Tony DeRazio, Gatone Stadium, Vineland. The Fighting Clan taking the lead 3-0 with 8:13 remaining in the first quarter. Here's Milt Morris's kick, and it's a good one. It's taken at about the 17-yard line and coming up across the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Looked like number 78, Charles Tarshish. Offensive tackle, defensive tackle.
Craig, you? Oh, no, you're right. That's
78.
Okay, we get it.
We're going to explain to the viewers what's going on here. We've got a Atlantic City roster with no heights or weights on it. The numbers are helter-skelter, as Jim mentioned. It's in alphabetical order, so you have to look down the roster. And when Vineland scouted Atlantic City, we didn't get any names. All we got was numbers, and it's kind of hard matching things up instantly. Or we'll do it the best we can anyway.
Okay, Henry Green, the quarterback, he's got a wing formation behind him, wing to the left side. He hands it off. First man coming through across the 30, the 35, and up to about the 38-yard line was number 36, Jermaine Harvey.
Yeah, that
Jermaine Harvey, I should say.
Jermaine, yeah, that made a nice opening up the middle there. Maybe Bob Weiss comes up with some new formations coming from Phillipsburg Catholic. He might have some new formation we haven't seen, or people think we haven't. Well, Atlantic City was scouted in scrimmages. That's it.
Okay, Henry Green, the quarterback, with the wing to the left, or to the right side, I should say. There goes the handoff to James Henderson. Henderson cuts back inside, still on his feet, and finally pulled down by Hicks. Bill Hicks got him at about the 48-yard line, but another first down for the Atlantic City Vikings.
One of the advantages, of course, Atlantic City had, they came to Pemberton last week, and they scouted Vineland very thoroughly. Vineland could only scout them in a scrimmage, Woodrow Wilson and Pope Paul VI. And you don't see that much in the scrimmage as you do in a ball game, and so of course they did have a little bit of an advantage, but the end of the game will tell.
Okay, Henry Green, quarterback. He's got receivers both to the bottom of your screen, one up at the top of the screen, and there he's got the ball, is looking, and they're handed it off to the first man through, Jermaine Harvey again. He stopped actually lost a yard on the play. Willie Hart making the stop.
And that voice you hear in the background is the voice of Vineland's American League umpire, Vic Voltaggio, doing the public address announcing.
Hey, good to see Vic. He looks good. I know he was having some injury problems, an operation and all. Be good to see him back next year. Umpiring, too. Does a nice job. Brian Weiner comes wide on the right side. Slotted out as Matt Overs. Back to pass being rushed and is going to be dumped down as Henry Green. Good defensive pursuit by the Fighting Clan. The first man in there was John Hersey, number 50. And Crescenzi also in there for Vineland.
Oh, it's about a 10-yard loss.
Boy, great pursuit. Back to the 37-yard line, so it'll be third and about 20 yards to go for a first down for Atlantic City. Now, they were driving well, Tony, but all of a sudden that Vineland defense just got in there and penetrated the line and made those tackles and pushed them way back.
Well, they had that each time now that they've gone back to pass, that's happened. Crescenzi really comes charging through, and he has help from the other side as well, and you're going to have to be quite agile to get out of his way. He was the same way at Pemberton.
Okay, Henry Green, the quarterback. He's looking. He's back to pass. He's being pursued, and he's going to be dropped again. Great pursuit by Joe Crescenzi once again, number 84 for the Fighting Clan. Way back at the 17-yard line where the Vikings will have to punt the football. Oh, Tony, that was fourth down. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that was.
Vineland takes over on downs. That was really an unusual play in that position.
Well, and you see number 84, how quickly he got in there, and then he had help from the other side as well. Boy, they really came through.
Vineland in excellent position. I apologize. There's no way I thought that was a fourth down situation there.
And I don't think Atlantic City knew it either. Otherwise, why would they run that way?
I couldn't imagine, Tony. Not from, what, the 32-yard line. There's no way. When you're on your own 32, you don't want to punt the football. So Vineland has taken a timeout. There's timeout on the field with a score. The Fighting Clan 3, the Atlantic City Vikings nothing. We'll be back in a moment. You see some of the lovely ladies on the Vineland sideline keeping stats for the Fighting Clan. Otley Ewlings is our down cameraman, assisted by Kevin Mason. There's the handoff.
Buckaloo, about 2 yards.
Right into the middle of the line. Picked up a couple yards down to about the 15-yard line. Bill Pavlik made the stop, number 72 for Atlantic City. Vineland High School football on Channel 2 being brought to you by Minatola National Bank, where they're celebrating their 75th anniversary with their beautiful new office over on Chestnut Avenue. Of course, their very attractive office on Lincoln Avenue as well. Joe Crescenzi splits wide to the right, the wishbone behind the quarterback, Chris Vizzo. Chris hands it off, and that time it went to William Hicks. Hicks goes inside the 15, down to about the 13-yard line before he's stopped. Mike Hughes and Pavlik also there stopping.
So I said earlier, against Pemberton, Vineland made a lot of yardage around the outside. Hicks and Hart made a lot of yards around the outside as they pinched the end in. Now, Atlantic City probably worked on that this weekend, last week, not to be pinched, at the end pinched in that way, and Vineland's attacking the center much more than they did against Pemberton.
Haydack in for Vineland. Got Hart and Crescenzi split to the top of your screen. The split backfield, and looks like a delay of game penalty against Vineland. It is 5 yards, and that hurts Tony down in this territory because they were down at the 13 with the possibility that Greg Loftus could always boot another field goal. Now they're starting to take them a little bit out of field goal range. 3 minutes, 53 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Vineland High 3, Atlantic City nothing. Jim Quinn along with Tony DeRazio on Cable Channel 2. Mike Harvey will be joining the broadcast team the next home game.
Look for a pass to Crescenzi.
Okay, Crescenzi split to the top of the screen. There you see Chris Vizzo calling the signals with a split backfield. Hart in the slot on the right side. Vizzo back. He's looking, going towards the end zone for Haydack. Just over his hands. And not incomplete. Robert Haydack just a little bit overthrown. Could have been a super play. Haydack tried hard, but good coverage, too, on the play by the Atlantic City Vikings. And that was provided by number 2 and number 15. And if we run down the roster, maybe we'll find Matt Overs as number 15. Number 2 is Wayne Williams.
You know, last week Crescenzi caught 6 passes, and they threw the ball also to Buckaloo when Vizzo had 9 for 18. That was still a beautifully thrown pass.
It sure was. Just a little bit overthrown. Kevin Hart slotted to the right. Crescenzi wide to the right. It's Chris Vizzo on 4th down and about 13. Chris looking. He's looking. He's going to be hit from behind and dropped down hard. Good penetration by number 60 for Atlantic City. And that's Mike Hughes.
You know, Mike Hughes came from the right-hand side, went all the way across the field, chased him all the way. There were 2 men after Chris Vizzo, and one of the blockers, one of the backs did take one of the men, but he couldn't take the other one, and Hughes nailed him.
Yeah, and he was coming from the blind side, too, as our viewers could see, I'm sure, and that's tough to know. You may hear the footsteps, but you don't know for sure he's there.
Well, you know, the Pemberton game was the first game that Chris took, the snap.
Okay, we've got Atlantic City with the ball. Henry Green, he hands the ball off. Coming around and being dropped is number 11, James Henderson.
Buckaloo dropped him for 2, -2.
So loss of at least about a yard, I guess, on the play. We'll call it 2nd down and 11. 3 minutes, 3 seconds remaining. First quarter of action being brought to you on Channel 2 by Matt Pat and Jerry Hiles at Hiles' Appliance, 3435 South Delsey Drive, about a quarter of a mile north of the Cumberland Mall. They service everything they sell, some great prices and some nice people. Hope you'll stop by and say hello. Brian Weiner is wide to the left side. There is the handoff going around is James Henderson. Henderson gets into the secondary, but he's dropped at about the 27-yard line. Making the stop for Vineland was Fabio Galva.
Right.
And also William Hicks.
He has some nice moves as he comes through there.
Yes, he does, doesn't he, Tony?
I mean, a number of the fellows had shots at him. Of course, that was one of the problems last week. I keep referring to that, but of course that's the only thing we have to refer to. Vineland did try to tackle a little bit high, and the fellows were big last week, and they didn't make it good tackles. In fact, that's one of the things in practice this week. Tackle, tackle, tackle. That's 3rd and 3, Jim.
Matt Overs at the bottom of your screen. 3rd down and 3 yards to go. Henry Green, the quarterback, with a backfield. He hands it off. The first man coming through is Jermaine Harvey, and Harvey has the first down up to the Atlantic City 34-yard line. It looks like Harvey may have been shaken up on that play.
Haydak, number 11, really laid the blocks to him.
He sure did. And we have an injury timeout on the field. And with the timeout, we'll tell you the score is Vineland High 3, Atlantic City nothing. We'll pause for this message. Jim Quinn, Tony DeRazio, Gatone Stadium, Vineland. Vineland on top 3-0. And here you see the Vineland cheerleaders, and that's a great shot because Tony's going to talk about the 1988 Vineland cheerleading squad.
Okay, the Vineland cheerleading squad, captained by Dawn Bell and Sandy DeMauro, both of them are seniors. Kristen Schmidt, Tiffany Hartzell, Mary Jane Grissmeyer, Michelle Simone, Krista DeJong, Gina McCann, Carolyn Hippolito, and Lisa Zauner. They're the seniors on the squad. Christy Ostroff, Heather Scott, Tara Dar, Colleen Yakow, Carol Taranova, Gina Panzino, Belinda Cohen, Amy Franks, Denise Desiri, and Christine D'Amato are the juniors on the squad, managed by Cindy Murphy. And the mascot down there is Tony Evangelista. Their new coach this year is Diane Mariatis, and that's the Vineland High School cheerleading squad. 36, Jermaine Harvey is being helped off the field. In fact, a couple of Vineland coaches even went out there to help him out. He must have had more than the wind knocked out of him, but he's out on his own power, so he's probably okay.
Yeah, that's good to see Jermaine walking off on his own power.
You know, they've been making some yards up the middle, which is a little difficult to understand, but again, Vineland they'll find a way to take care of that.
Saw some of the Vineland Fighting Clan fans here. Matt Overs at the top of the screen, split. Henry Green calling the signals. Green looking, there's a flag down. He throws it over to Overs. Overs is downed at around the 38-yard line, picked up about 3 or 4 yards on the play, but a flag was thrown. Over there, making the stop for Vineland was number 50.
Boy, they dropped that flag real quick,
John Hersey. Yes, they did, didn't they, Tony? Right at the line.
Yeah.
It's illegal procedure against Vineland. I mean, against Atlantic City. So it's going to be a 5-yarder marked off against the Vikings. It moves it down to the 30-yard line, illegal motion. So it'll be first down, 15 yards to go. The ball at the 30. And the Vikings trail at 3-0. The Fighting Clan leading with 1:13 remaining in the first quarter. Vineland High School football action on Cable Channel 2 being brought to you by Jiffy Lube, Delsey Drive, and Park Avenue in Vineland. Matt Overs is at the top of the screen. The quarterback is Henry Green. In motion, Corey Landing. And there goes the handoff to James Henderson. Henderson with a good run, breaks up across the 40. Coughed up the ball, but I believe it was after the whistle. And it's going to be marked at the 41-yard line. So a good gain, a gain of 11 yards on the play. So it's going to be second down and 4 yards to go. Tony Henderson has some good moves.
He certainly does, and he's finding a hole there in the middle. It's somewhat of a delay as he comes up the middle. And then maybe that's the thing that's giving him the chance to get through there because of that slight delay.
Yeah, that could be. They're sort of like a delay play where he's going through the middle of the Vineland line. I guess they're over-penetrating. He's getting behind them. Green, the quarterback, again to Henderson. Henderson again with some running room, the 45-50, 45-40, 35-30, and it's finally run out of bounds by Haydak at about the 27-yard line, but a great run by James Henderson, a senior halfback for the Fighting Clan, or for the Vikings.
32 yards. He's picked up a lot of yards already, Jim.
He sure has. 32-yard run by James Henderson. So it's first and 10 for the Vikings at the Vineland 28-yard line.
He's got 63 yards already. That's first quarter.
That's a good first half. 8 seconds remaining in the first quarter as Haydak ran him out of bounds. So this will be the last play of the first quarter. Vineland is on top 3-0. Matt Overs goes out to the top of the screen. You see the quarterback, Henry Green. He's got a split backfield. Green is rolling and looking to throw the ball. He falls down. He trips and falls down at the 35-yard line. And he must have hit a spot. They mark him down to 36. And that's the end of the first quarter with a score, Vineland 3, Atlantic City nothing. We'll pause for a moment. There you see the Vineland High School cheerleaders here at Catone Stadium. Jim Quinn along with Tony DeRazio, Vineland High School football on Channel 2, being brought to you by Executive Business Products, 210 Landis Avenue in Vineland. Green looking to throw. He's back. He's rolling. He's being pursued. He gets away from one pursuer. He tucks the ball in, is running with it down near the first down, or the original first down marker, the original line of scrimmage. He gets down to about the 28-yard line where he's finally run out of bounds.
Yeah, it looked like he did a lot of running, but he only did about 8 yards, actually.
Yeah, and he just got back to the original line.
Yeah, because Joe Crescenzi, again, had him way back there, and Joe slipped it. He made a move on Joe and got away from Joe. If Joe had him, he'd be back close to the 50-yard line.
Absolutely. Joe gave it excellent effort, and Green just ducked out of his way.
But that's happened every time he's gone back to attempt to pass. Now they're taking time
Atlantic
out.
City taking another timeout. And with a timeout on the field, we'll take timeout for this commercial message, and we'll be back with the score. Vineland 3, Atlantic City. Jim Quinn, Tony DeRazio, Catone Stadium, Vineland, fighting plan on top 3-0 Atlantic City with a big third down play here at the Vineland 28-yard line. Henry Green calling the signals. James Henderson goes in motion. Green passes it out in the flat, and it's incomplete. He intended it out here for number 3, Brian Weiner, and it was just, I guess, Weiner couldn't come up with the ball. That's all there was to it. Forward pass is what the call is.
Yeah, well, Vineland was looking for a lateral because a Vineland man recovered that one. They'd like to have had that ball.
So it's going to be fourth down situation for Atlantic City. I mean, hey, Tony, if they don't punt when they're on their own 36, you know they're not going to do anything but go for it here. Obviously, you wouldn't want to punt at the 28-yard line anyway. So it'll be fourth down and 10 at the Vineland High 28-yard line. Atlantic City has the ball. Matt Overs at the top of the screen. Winged on the left side is Corey Landing. He goes in motion, split backfield. There's Henry Green back, and he's looking to throw the football. He shoots it over the middle, incomplete. Intended there for Matt Overs, but it was way over Overs' head, and it will be fighting plan football once again. So the Vineland defense bends, but they don't break, and they'll take over the offense. First down, 10 yards to go at their own 28-yard line.
You know, you were right. That why can punt if they punt it from the 28, goes into the end zone.
Get 8 yards.
For a matter of 8 yards in this way. It was a beautiful pass.
Yeah, just high, too high for
Now
him.
Vineland can move the way they did against Pemberton.
It'll be interesting to see now as Crescenzi comes out wide to the bottom of your screen, up at the top of the screen. We've got Haydak. And the handoff going through was to number 23, William Hicks. Hicks goes to the 30-yard line. Williams made the stop for Atlantic City. Gain of 3, second and 7.
Yeah, they haven't hit the outside, exploited the outside the way they did last week, and they'll come back to that. And if Crescenzi didn't have any passes thrown to him yet either.
Crescenzi splits to the bottom of the screen. Up the top of the screen is Haydak. And back to pass. He's knocked down. Oh, no, Tony. That was a tough call against Vineland.
Right.
Chris Vizzo was down. The ball came loose, and they say it's Atlantic City's ball. Vizzo limping, too, as he comes off the field slightly. And Vikings take over. First down, 10 yards to go at the 24. I would have thought Chris Vizzo was down before he fumbled the football, but the officials saw it differently, and it's going to be Vikings football, first and 10 at the Vineland 24-yard line. Overs is to the left. In motion goes Corey Landing. There's the handoff reverse, and there's a fumble. Vineland's got it. William Hicks.
He's gone. They're not going to catch him.
All the way.
Yes, he is, too. Yeah.
Boy, that kid is fast. To bring Hicks down to the 15-yard line. Wow. You know, Tony, that was a very similar play to, I saw the Millville-Bridgeton game last week at Millville, and Millville's quarterback pitched one similar to what the Atlantic City quarterback did. And one of the Bridgeton defenders picked it off and ran at that time for a touchdown. But I thought the same as you did, that Hicks would go all the way. But got to give some credit to Henry Green, wasn't it? Number 4?
Henry Green, yeah, quarterback. He must be pretty fast because I know Hicks can fly.
So it'll be first down Vineland. Hicks hopefully just winded on the play. First and 10 Vineland at the Atlantic City 15. There's a lovely Vineland High cheerleader hiding behind the mascot. Who is the mascot? Do you know, Tony?
Yeah, Tony Evangelista.
Tony Evangelista. Oh, that's right. You did mention that. So,
I really thought he was going to go. I seen Hicks run, and well, I tell you,
yeah, I did too.
well, you know, last week what happened in a sense, not quite the same thing. Chris Rizzo was in the grass, but if it had been college or pro, he was in the grass, and he stood up and he threw a lateral, and it was intercepted by a linebacker from Pemberton who went 45 yards for a touchdown.
Wow.
So, again, Chris, this is his first. The Pemberton game was his first game as a varsity quarterback, and this is his second game, and he's coming along very well. You know, just a matter of reading on some of these option plays where he has to read and decide when to get rid of the ball and when to keep it. But Chris can also run, so we want to see a little bit of variety again. Hicks is coming off the field, he's limping somewhat, but he'll probably be okay.
William Hicks with a great defensive play, just grabbed that ball out of the air and raced down to the Atlantic City 15-yard line before Henry Green caught him from behind. Vineland High School football on Channel 2 being brought to you in part by Bob Nelson at Bob's Auto Supply, 1289 South Delsey Drive in Vineland. We've got Fabio Galva in the ball game replacing Hicks as Vineland gets ready to snap the ball. Chris Vizzo looking, throwing it into the end zone, overthrew Crescenzi. It was the intended receiver. Joe Crescenzi way over his head.
I think they misread. Somebody made a mistake on that because he threw it for the corner. Crescenzi had broken to the middle. If he'd been able to hit him in the middle, he's wide open.
Yes, he was.
Again, it comes from inexperience.
Stanford Broom coming out of the ball game for Vineland, and going in as Haydak.
Referee timeout. I think you find Haydak as it brings in he and Broom are bringing in the plays.
Okay. And you see a shot there of Hicks being administered to on the sideline from our down cameraman, Otley Ewings. Bob Doran is doing the up camera today, and our executive producer director is Paul Kell, assisted by Joshua Kell.
And that's Coach LeBoy working on Hicks's foot.
Nice sideline shot there. I was going to say, I didn't know if it was related to Jose or not. Okay. It is his brother? Okay. There you see Chris Vizzo with a split backfield. Vizzo pitches the ball back to John Buckaloo. Buckaloo running hard, getting down, second effort inside the 10, and is knocked out of bounds. Let's see where they're going to mark it. No, they say he went out before the 10. I believe around the 12-yard line is where they say he was knocked out of bounds.
See, that time they utilized Buckaloo outside instead of inside, and last year he did a lot of running to the outside. They get Broom in now with the play.
So the gain of 4 on the play, third down and about 6 yards to go. For a first down, they have to go to the Atlantic City 6. So big third down play here for Chris Vizzo. They've got the wishbone in formation. Handoff running hard off the left side is Kevin Hart. And Kevin is down close to a first down as he went off that left tackle to see where the referee spots the ball. Looks like it's going to be about a yard short, Tony, about the 8-yard line. So he's going to be about 2 yards short. So here we got a 4th down and 2, and whether Atlantic or the Fighting Clan will go to a field goal or not, but they're calling a timeout to discuss it with a timeout on the field. And the score, the Fighting Clan 3, the Atlantic City Vikings nothing. We'll pause for a moment. Jim Quinn along with Tony Durazio back here at Home Stadium. We got a meeting where the Fighting Clan behind quarterback Nice way to drive the field goal. You bet. Fell down at the 8-yard line, so he lost a couple.
Ball. He's lost about 2 yards as this game. Not quite. I wish there were more people here watching the game, though, Jim.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It used to be the students outnumbered the parents, but not anymore. Not today.
Yeah, but these kids are busy working or whatever. There's the handoff coming as Henderson. He didn't go very far. He was tripped up. Looked like number 43, Willie Hart, who tripped him up for Vineland.
They picked up
About a yard as well. 3rd and 11 for Atlantic City. They have the ball at their own 9-yard line.
Yeah,
Actually, 8-yard line.
Vineland's keeping Atlantic City down in their own territory, but Vineland hasn't been able to score. And as I say, the way they moved the ball last week, you'd expect they'd move against anybody, but maybe that's part of it.
Some of the Vineland pageantry we'll see at halftime, the band and some of the color guards. And there's a whistle, delay of game against Atlantic City. So they're moving right on back towards their own goal line. Move the ball back now to the 4-yard line, half the distance to the goal. So it will be a 3rd down now at about 16.
Jim, what do you think about those rules now that if you block an extra point and the defensive team gets it, they can run down with it and make 2 points on it?
Hey, it's a great idea. I didn't know it until you just told me, so it's a new one.
Yeah.
Overs is split to the right side of your screen. There's Green, throws it out to Overs. He has it at around the 5, but he's not going very far. Gets up to about the 8-yard line. Vineland wasn't fooled at all on that. Haydack, number 11, one of the Vineland people over there. And also number 64 for Vineland, who happens to be Jamie Lapsley, who I saw his dad in the stands here for today's game. 4th down and about still 12 yards to go, and Atlantic City will have to punt the football, and for the first time we'll get to see the Atlantic City punter coming into the ball game.
Well, Vineland should get the ball in very good field position. Lapsley had a heck of a game last week.
Luke Giacchio stands about 2 yards deep in his end zone. It's a good snap. Giacchio gets the kick away. It's a low kick. Should have a good return. Takes an Atlantic City bounce. John Buccalo picks it up at the midfield stripe. Goes to the 45 and it's down at the 41-yard line. He's dropped there by number 5, Corey Landing for Atlantic City. So it'll be 1st down, 10 yards to go for Vineland. They've got good field position at the Atlantic City 42-yard line. 7 minutes, 12 seconds remaining in the first half.
That was a good punt, too. You know, he got a nice bounce, but it was a good punt. He kicked from about the 5.
Well, he's 2 yards deep, Tony, when he kicked it.
That's right. So and then the ball ended up at the 50, and it didn't look like it was going to go that far, but it went a nice distance on that pass, even after he got smothered the first time he attempted the punt.
Absolutely. Corey Landing is winged over on the right side, number 5. For defense on the right, folks. Pass intended for Joe Crescenzi, and it's incomplete.
They were slightly behind him. Crescenzi was counting the 6 points. If he had that, he's gone.
You bet.
They were slightly behind him.
Chris Visso just a little bit behind him. Haydack coming out, of course. Stanford Broom going in.
You know, that pass, Vizo throws a nice spiral. Real tight spiral, but he throws a nice pass.
Chris Vizo with a wishbone. He's got Broom to the left side. There's the pitch for Hicks. The ball's loose. It's still loose, and let's see who's coming up with the football. We'll have to wait, I believe.
It's still bouncing
around, so nobody's still got it. And Atlantic City indicates they haven't, so do the officials. The Vikings come up with the football at the Vineland 44-yard line as Hicks just never could get a handle on that football, Tony, on the pitch out from Visso.
No, it looked like they were dribbling the ball, and then it looked like it finally was stopped, captured by somebody, and then it bounced further again to the sideline. Right now, that seems to be the best offense Atlantic City has, and for Vineland to fumble, and they pick it up in good territory, really. They haven't even come close to this 45, but here they are.
They're up to the Vineland 40, or their own 43, rather. Henry Green calling the signals. Green hands it off to Henderson. Henderson coming with a couple blockers in front of him, cuts inside, gets over a tackler, and is finally down right around the midfield stripe. It was Lapsley who made the stop, number 64, and also there was number 30 for Vineland High School, Fabio Galva. And it will be a 2nd down and about 4 yards to go. The ball at the Atlantic City 49. They mark it back at the Vikings 49. That big V you see in the middle of the field there is Mr. and Mrs. Vic Voltaggio did all the work on that. It's a nice attractive red and gray V for Vineland High School fighting plant. Henry Green calling the signals.
Fumble.
Fumbled the football, and Vineland has recovered. At least the indications are they have. The official hasn't said so yet, but all the coaches and the Vineland staff say no. The officials say no, Tony. I agree with you. I thought they had to.
That's all that was on top of the well?
Yep.
Okay.
I thought maybe Sean Harris got it for Atlantic City. Third down and about 3 yards to go. 3rd and 3 for the fighting, or for the Vikings.
Did you notice who had that ball from Atlantic City?
No, I didn't.
Didn't gain anything, didn't lose anything.
No. In motion goes Overs. Back with it is Green. He's going to run with the football, but he's going to be tackled and dropped right in Vineland territory, right about the 49-yard line. John Hersey saved a possible first down from happening and kept the Vikings, I think, will have to punt. But you never know. Now they have it at Vineland territory at the 49-yard line. 4:33 remaining in the first half. Vineland 3, Atlantic City nothing. Vineland got on the scoreboard at the 8:13 mark in the first quarter when Greg Loftus lofted a field goal through the uprights from 25 yards out. And the Vikings will kick the ball.
Vineland making a whole bunch of substitutions right at the last second. Atlantic City had moved up to the line. Now the referee's counting the players.
Luke Giacchio's kick is another good kick. It's going to be grabbed by Hart, and he's dropped at the 25-yard line. Kevin Hart took the ball, and he is dropped right at the 25, making the stop for Atlantic City was number 52, Brad Leonard.
They luckily when Hart couldn't decide who was going to take that ball, they were sitting right beside each other. As a result, Hart bobbled the ball. Never did get a good start.
No, he didn't. You're right, Tony. Indecision on that catch, but at least they did make the catch. Robert Haydeck splits to the top of the screen. That's quarterback Chris Vizzo with a wishbone behind him. Everybody else in close. Hands it to the second man coming through, who's Kevin Hart. And Hart breaks into the secondary and has what may be another first down on the first play. He's stopped there by Corey Landing. And it is a first down. 1st and 10 for the fighting plant up at the 37-yard line, their own 37. Vineland High School football on Channel 2 being brought to you by Minatola National Bank. They're celebrating their 75th anniversary, and they hope that you'll make Minatola your bank.
That was the first down for Vineland.
Chris Vizzo back. He shoots it across the middle. Almost picked off by the Vikings. Almost picked off by number 12 for Atlantic City, Bill Brown.
You know, the way they're watching Crescenzi right now, and he breaks to the middle and he's sort of double teamed. If he were to cut back to the sideline, he's going to be wide open.
Yeah, one of these times they're going to connect, Tony, and it could be all 7 or 6 points. Haydack at the top of the screen. Chris Vizzo, the quarterback, with a wishbone behind him. Hands it off. Second man coming through is Hart. And Kevin is dropped at about the line of scrimmage. Picked up much yardage at all on the play.
He had made 2 yards, Jim. I thought he got to the 39, but they nailed him back at the 35. They threw him
give him his forward progress. Yeah. Okay, I thought he had gotten further along. Sean Simon making the stop for Atlantic City.
No, Sean's a transfer from Holy Spirit.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, I read that someplace.
That's unusual. Usually it goes the other way. Atlantic City players all transfer to the Holy Spirit. Stanford Broom to the top of the screen split. Wishbone formation. And Hart has the ball, breaks one tackle, but can't break the other. Gets back right around the line of scrimmage.
Well, he and
Vince Ireland made the stop.
Yeah, he and Aviso banged into each other on the exchange of the ball. And that was an unfortunate part about it, because I said he's pretty quick.
Haydack standing at his own 25-yard line. Matt Hout will do the snapping. Or is it?
Yes.
Looks like a 4 on there, Tim.
There's
there is
flag.
Haydack's boot. And a fair catch call for it. Flags are down. The man who snapped for Vineland was Dean Castellini, number 34, did the snap for the punting. I just wanted to make sure we got credit for that. Howard is the normal center. There are flags down. We'll have to wait and see what the penalty is going to be. The ball was a fair catch called for at the 30 by Atlantic City.
I think it's against Atlantic City. It's 4th and 7. Let's see what the penalty is.
Illegal first downfield for Vineland, right?
Yeah.
I say usually on a punt like that where the flags are thrown, it's usually against.
Offsetting? No, it's coming this way, Jim.
All right, Tony, you were right.
And it's going to be a first down. Illegal.
Too many now on the field. Okay. Gives the Plan a first down at the Atlantic City 45, so good play for the Fighting Clans. Flag still down here on the field around the 40-yard line. The official's going to have to go get his flag before they can start the play.
I think it just happened that he would be the one that was going to call a penalty, reach for his back pocket.
Yeah, not have it, yeah. Maybe throw his hat down then.
Yeah.
Just shy of the 45, Vineland has the football. They lead at 3-0. We only have 2 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the first half of action. Vineland High School football on Channel 2 being brought to you by Isles Appliances. They've got all your appliance needs, and you know what? They service everything they sell and what others sell as well. 3435 South Delsey Drive in Vineland. Back to pass, Chris Vizzo throws it for Crescenzi, just overthrown, incomplete. And that time I think Crescenzi could have gone all the way too, but just about a foot overthrown.
You know, again, I keep saying about not referring to last week, but last week those passes were right on the money. The connection was there. It was only the first game of the season, yet everything was right where it should have been. Today, they're slightly off.
Yeah, it's just a timing problem, I guess. Second down and 10 yards to go. The ball just shy of the 45.
But they're nicely thrown passes, though. That's it. You know, if they're ducks or sparrows or whatever.
That's right. Joe Donnelly is wide out on the left side, and Hicks is in the slot on the left. Here's Vizzo. It is knocked down. Good defensive play on the part of Matt Overs. Excellent defensive play by Overs. So it will be a third down situation now on 10 for Vineland. Still they have the ball shy of the Atlantic City 45-yard line.
On pass offense now, they're keying on, Atlantic City is keying on Crescenzi, and he's being double teamed. When he cuts to the middle, he's being it looks like he's triple teamed when he cuts in the middle. But Overs came from behind in order to deflect that ball.
But he did it well without interfering.
Right,
he came around.
Offhand to get in there.
But we have, well, we were going to have a wishbone. Now I'm not sure what we have. We got a lot of mix-up for Vineland right now. Stanford Broom comes in to split wide. Slotted left is Bookaloo. Back, and there on the draw play. The draw goes to William Hicks, and Hicks is stopped short of the first down at the Atlantic City 38-yard line. But it'll bring up fourth down now, Tony, and about 3 yards to go for first down.
Well,
so that little bit of time to go, 1:45 clock running.
Yeah, about fourth and 3 to go.
Let's see what Vineland comes up with on his fourth down play.
Yeah, the scoreboard is wrong. It's 4th and 7. There's no way. I just brought it down to 4th and 3.
Fourth down, 3 yards to go. Receivers split bottom and top of the screen. Percentage to the bottom of the screen, to the top of the screen is Haydak. Split backfield, Bookaloo in the slot on the left side. Chris Vizzo with the draw play again to Hicks. Hicks has the first down inside the 35, down to about the 34-yard line. William Hicks on the draw play gets the first down. He's knocked out of bounds there by number 2 for Atlantic City, and that's Wayne Williams. Enough for a first down, though, so Vineland keeps the drive alive with 1:10 remaining in the first half, clock running.
That was probably what they wanted to do when they were down on the 5-yard line, and Hicks came back in after being hurt. They wanted to run him like that, and Atlantic City stopped it. This time they didn't.
There's a timeout on the field with the score, Vineland High 3, Atlantic City nothing. We'll pause for a moment. Jim Quinn, Tony D'Orazio, Gatone Stadium, Vineland. Fighting Clan have the football, 1:06 remaining in the first half. They're up 3-0. They have it at the Atlantic City. Looking, he looking across the middle. Oh, just tipped away. Crescenzi had a good shot. If he'd had that, there was nobody between him and the end zone. But just tipped away by Wayne Williams at the very last second. Good defensive play by Wayne Williams.
Off that camera, we were talking about Atlantic City usually always started out poorly and came on strong at the end of the season, but it seems maybe this season it's going to be the other way around. They're going to start strong. And that may be the case, or this may be a case of first game enthusiasm. It's hard to tell.
Could be. New coach. Certainly Bob Weiss has done a good job. There seems to be more discipline on the Viking squad than in the past. Wishbone formation, third down. Vineland back, throwing it towards the end zone for Crescenzi. He overthrows him incomplete. Incidental contact on the play as Crescenzi was hit by Matt Overs, but I think the officials knew there was no way Joe could have caught the football.
No, not unless he used the jet to catch that.
You're right.
But it seems, if nothing else, we're seeing the strength in Vizo's arm. He's throwing a nice, well, it's off, but he's throwing a good pass. And
it's a strong pass, Tony. Right. It's just overthrowing. Haydack comes in the ball game. Going out is Joe Donnelly. And the Vikings call a timeout with the score, Vineland 3, Atlantic City nothing. We'll pause for a moment. Has the football, is running with it still down, and is finally knocked out of bounds at about the 18-yard line. Chris Vizzo hit Hicks in the flat, and it was Corey Landing who raised a possible line of touchdown from happening.
That was enough for play out the side. There were only a few of them out there. He's out there with a like to go in with a touchdown. And it would deflate Atlantic City. You know, you're holding 3-0. Last minute of play. I mean, it's happened before. And Atlanta needs a touchdown. They're spreading out Hart and Crescenzi here.
Hart and Crescenzi to the right side. Chris Vizzo rolling. Vizzo looking. He unloads it, and it is incomplete. Both the offensive and defensive player shot at the ball, but it was intended for Kevin Hart. It's a play there by Atlantic City's Matt Overs.
Well, you know, I don't know if it was intended for Kevin or Crescenzi, who was behind him, but Vizzo had to get rid of the ball, and he did, and then he threw it to someone. Of course, the Atlantic City man was standing right there, but he and Hart fought for the ball. Well, it's 2nd and 10, Jim. 2nd and
10, 19 seconds to go. Vineland has it at the Atlantic City 19-yard line. Chris Vizzo with receivers to the far side. Vizzo back, looking, throws it into the end zone. It is incomplete, knocked down there by number 15, Matt Overs, and it will bring up a 3rd down and 10 situation with 15 seconds to go till halftime. And you got to credit, Tony, this Vineland, or the Atlantic City defense. They've been there for the pass defense, and that's hard for a young team. Any team, really, is to get on the pass defense.
And has thrown 11 passes already, and that's a lot for Vineland. Last week, Vizzo threw 18. He's already thrown 11 in the first half. I think all depends how much time is left after this play is over. Maybe they'll go for the field goal.
Possibly.
On 4th down, I think they'll call a quick timeout.
Okay, 3rd down and 10. Chris Vizzo calling the signals. He's straight back to pass. He's throwing it, and he overthrows Joe Crescenzi. Coverage on the play was Corey Landing, number 5, and also over there was number 12, William Brown, and it will bring up a 4th down 10 situation. Now, from the position where the ball is, that's the 19, 7 yards to be 26. That'd be a 36-yard field goal, Tony. That's quite a kick.
Yeah,
I don't know if Haydack could even handle that type of kick, although they're sending him in with a play right now. Stanford.
How about a fake?
Broom comes out.
Fake field goal?
Certainly wouldn't be a bad idea.
Of course, Haydack comes in on every play. So every other play.
He's just going to be a receiver, Tony.
That's right. He's going to be a wide receiver.
Okay, Chris Vizzo, quarterback, getting ready to set it up. 4th down, 10. Ball at the 19. Chris is rolling with it. He's looking. He throws it, overshoots Joe Crescenzi again. And again, the coverage was provided by William Brown, so it'll be Atlantic City taking over on downs, but they only have 6 seconds remaining in the first half. Vineland High leading it 3-0 over Atlantic City. Vineland High School football on Channel 2 being brought to you by the Cumberland County Democratic Organization, who urge you to re-elect Congressman Bill Hughes, my running mate Bill Biondi, and yours truly Jim Quinn for freeholder, and elect Nancy Sengen as surrogate on November the 8th.
All right.
Atlantic City has the football at their own 19-yard line. And with only 6 seconds to go, we'll see whether they just run the clock out or try to go to a pass play. I imagine this deep with 3-0. Yes, they're just going to run it out. Smart, conservative move by the Vikings, and that'll end the first half. 2 seconds, 1, and the first half ends with a score. Vineland High 3, Atlantic City High School 0. We'll be back with halftime stats. Tony will have those for you. We'll recap the scoring, and then we'll watch the 1988 edition of the Vineland High School Marching Band perform at halftime. We'll do all that right after we take time out for this message. You see the score at halftime on the Monogram Club's scoreboard. 3-0, Vineland on top. Back in a moment. Halftime score, Vineland leading over Atlantic City by a score of 3-0. Vineland got on the scoreboard at the 8:13 mark of the first quarter when Greg Loftus came on and kicked an extra point, or a field goal rather, from 25 yards out, put it right through the uprights to make the score 3-0 Vineland. So the only scoring in the first half was the 25-yard field goal kick by Greg Loftus to give Vineland a 3-0 lead. The rest of the time, a lot of good defense. Vineland not having a great passing first half. Atlantic City, James Henderson was one of their major contributors on offense for them, but they weren't able to get in the scoreboard or into the end zone rather, on the scoreboard because of the good Vineland defense. So it's pretty much a defensive first half, Tony. And here's Tony DeRazio with the first half statistics.
Yeah, for Vineland, the stats are kind of funny. Vineland, Bill Hicks had 5 carries for 14 yards. Kevin Hart had 5 carries for 18 yards. John Bucklew had 4 carries for 15 yards, and Chris Vizo had 2 carries for 1 yard. They ended up with a total of 48 yards. Vizo's tried 13 passes and completed 1 for 10 yards. Vineland has also fumbled twice. They've only had 1 penalty called against them. In first downs, they've had 2 first downs. Then they had another one by passing and 1 by penalty, giving them a total of 4 first downs. Which doesn't show too much firepower, I guess. 48, then 10, 58 yards in the first half. For Atlantic City, Jermaine Harvey had 3 carries for 23 yards, and James Harrison had 7 carries for 71 yards. Green has thrown 4 passes and completed 1 for only 3 yards, and they have 4 first downs. So it really isn't too much of an offense, and even though Vineland occupied most of Atlantic City's territory, nothing really happened.
No, you're right, Tony. 58 yards. They've got that 1 field goal, and that's it. It's been a defensive first half, I guess, for both teams. Vineland High leading it by a score of 3-0.
Okay, this is the Vineland High Marching Clan, and under the direction of Drum Major Sarah Donnelly, Vineland High School proudly presents the 1988 Vineland High School Marching Clan. Today the Marching Clan will perform El Caliente, Trepak from the Nutcracker, Lawrence of Arabia, and Ballerina Girl. This year the Marching Clan is under the new direction of Mr. William McDevitt. Staff members include Miss Patty Page, Miss Dawn Charleston as band front instructors, and Mr. Mike Spina as percussion instructor. Field officers include band captain Lisa Barfeld, dance captain Stephanie Scholl, dance lieutenant Marnie Ostrowski, rifle captain Pam Bertoldi, rifle lieutenant Susan Morrow, flag captain Denise Amico, flag lieutenant Tina Milazzo. Soloists include Brian Costanzo, Brian Fleming, and David Brown. And now for your listening and viewing pleasure, the 1988 Marching Clan.
So they got Millwall had it for about 6 3. So they see right up the whole front line. You can't see over your line. Forget it. This guy, I seen this kid. I ain't been here for the whole game, so he can't see over his line. I'm not about him. I ain't too much of a play.
Welcome back to Catone Stadium in Vineland. It's Tony DeRazio you just saw there, and our cameraman Otley Euling down on the field. We're at halftime. It's 3-0. Vineland High School leading over the Atlantic City Vikings in a pretty much defensive first half of activity. And Tony has some interesting stories. One I thought was really good, Tony, was about the high school football team, was it?
Oh, yeah.
South Salem or somewhere?
Yeah, at Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Salem High School played South Moreland. And South Moreland led 10-6 with 4 seconds to play, 4th down, 50-yard line. So the coach ordered his punter to take the snap, run around, fall down. The game's over. The punter took the snap. He ran back to the 15, and he stopped. The horn blew, so figured the game was over. But an alert Salem defender grabbed the ball from him, dropped it, picked it up, ran in and scored, and Salem won 13-10. And everybody seemed to have forgotten that the game doesn't end until the final play has been whistled dead.
That's something.
And
that is
yeah,
really...
can you imagine if you were that young man?
But
the other thing that we could talk about that sort of influence, it involves all of us, I guess, that Friday night game, Bridgeton-Millville, might be the last one between those two teams.
Absolutely. And, you know, the next game, Bridgeton... does Bridgeton play Vineland at all? No, they don't, do they?
No.
Okay, I was going to say they're done with Vineland, too. Yeah, I don't think you'll ever see Bridgeton in the much... I don't know if it'll ever happen again, to be honest with you. It may not happen in our lifetimes where Bridgeton and Millville will play, because what's happening is Millville is growing in population, as Vineland's a large community. Also, Millville and Vineland, Cumberland Regional, Holy Spirit are the large schools in that Cape Atlantic 1, and Bridgeton, because of the size of the community, they only have 6.5 square miles, so you can't have too much expansion. The most Bridgeton maybe will go back to 20, 25,000. And their high school is small. I taught there a year ago, and it's surprising because I had subbed there while I was going to college in the mid-'60s and then teaching there for almost a year, just to see the number of kids. There are less than 1,000 kids in the entire school, and I mean, like 8th grade, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So what's going to happen is Bridgeton will be in Cape Atlantic 2, and with Ronnie DeRucci with St. Augustine getting their varsity squad probably underway next year. Wildwood looks like they're going to go with a varsity squad possibly next year. So that means Bridgeton won't be playing Millville, and they haven't been playing Vineland for, I guess, the last year or two.
The difference here, too, is the Cape 2 schools had to find a spot for Wildwood and St. Augustine, as you mentioned. Now, Bridgeton went to Cape 2 because Absegami had 150 more students.
Yeah.
And they're the biggest in Cape 2 by about 50 over Oakcrest. But the Oakcrest area is getting so big, they'll probably move up to Cape 1.
Yeah.
So Wildwood and St. Augustine make it just nice. In place of Oakcrest, they're going to take Wildwood and St. Augustine in place of Oakcrest and Millville.
Yeah.
But if Oakcrest doesn't move, unless Wildwood stays independent, it's still not going to continue the ride.
Yeah, well, I understood Oakcrest was definitely moving up next year. I was told that by one of the officials. So that should help balance it out some. So Millville would play Oakcrest. Vineland would play Oakcrest instead of Pemberton, I would suspect, next year too, right, Tony? If they come into the Cape Atlantic too, the way
and if Upper Deerfield has their population explosion the way it's gone,
they may have 2 schools eventually.
They'll have another school in the area, right?
We'd like to remind you you're watching Vineland High School football on Cable Channel 2. I'm Jim Quinn along with Tony DeRazio. Our camera crew for today, the camera you're looking at right now is Otley Ewlings, and he's assisted by Kevin Mason. In the up camera that you're watching right now is Bob Doran. Bob's been doing camera for us now for about 10 years. And in the van downstairs directing and producing the program is Paul Kell, and his son Joshua helps him out. So that's the staff and the crew that's bringing you Vineland High School football here on Channel 2. There's John Serra of WFHM fame, and they've got the football games on, all that stuff, and we're just about ready. We'd like to remind you Vineland High School football on Channel 2 is being brought to you by Minatola National Bank, 75 years of serving the Vineland area, by Hiles Appliance, 3435 South Delsey Drive in Vineland, by Cumberland County Democratic Organization, and by many others. There's the Atlantic City kick. It's bouncing around and is finally covered by Vineland.
Jeff Bays fell on it for Vineland.
Okay.
It's a good thing, too, because
73, Jeff Bays. Yeah, because once that ball goes 10 yards, it's loose, and anybody can have the football. And Vineland got on it. Bays with covering the ball. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Fighting Clan. They have it at their own 34-yard line. Vineland High School football on Channel 2 being brought to you by Jiffy Lube, Delsey Drive, Park Avenue, Vineland. Executive Business Products, 210 Landis Avenue in Vineland. Chris Vizzo calling the signals, hands it to the first man coming through. And that's number 30 for Vineland, Fabio Galva. So it'll be a pickup of about 4 yards on the play, 2nd down and 6. The ball spotted at the Vineland 38-yard line.
You think there's any paint left on the locker room wall?
I don't know. It's got to be some frustration, huh?
John scorched a few, I think.
I'll bet. Chris Vizzo, the quarterback with a wishbone formation. Hicks is to the left side. There's the handoff to Hart. Hart breaks a couple tackles before he's finally brought down. Good tackle on the part of number 2, Wayne Williams for Atlantic City, but Hart gets up to the 43-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd down, short yardage, 3rd and about 2 to go. Needs to go to just shy of the 45. He's at the 43, so about a yard and a half. 3-0, Vineland leading Atlantic City, just underway, 2nd half. Chris Vizzo, the quarterback with the wishbone formation. Vizzo hands the ball off. First man coming through is Galva. Fabio Galva has the 1st down. Wayne Williams makes the stop for Atlantic City, but not before Galva picks up the 1st down. 1st and 10 for the Fighting Clan, their own 48.
That's the first 2 times Galva's carried for Vineland. He's in there in place of Hicks. No, in place of
I think okay, you're right. The fullback spot. There's the handoff going to Kevin Hart. Hart to the 45-yard line before Sean Simon stops him. It'll be 1st down, or 2nd down rather, at about 3 yards to go. They spot the ball right at the Atlantic City 45-yard line.
You see, now they're hitting that middle and making yards. They've made, 4, 7, 4, 6.
Matt Hout, along with the tackles Milt Morris and Jeff Bays, TJ Patch, and Roger Marandino doing a nice job blocking in this series for Vineland. Handoff to Falva again. First man coming through, has the 1st down at the 41-yard line, and some good adjustment by Vineland. Again, Sean Simon, 75, making the stop for Atlantic City, but Vineland running well as they open up the 2nd half.
Yeah, see, now they're concentrating in that middle. Next thing you know, they're going to pass out there, they're going to run to the outside, because they're really starting to draw Atlantic City in.
Absolutely. Joe Crescenzi to the top of the screen. And mix-up as Vizzo tried to hand it off first man, didn't get the handoff, and then turned around and he was dropped. And dropping it was Jeff Garbutt, number 68. Loss of about a yard on the play, 2nd down and 11 for the Fighting Clan. They have it at the Atlantic City 42-yard line.
Vineland at least moving the ball a little bit more the way they did last week against Pemberton.
Crescenzi, the top of the screen. That's Chris Vizzo with a wishbone formation. Everybody else in tight. He hands it off to Galva. First man through. Galva inside the 40, down to about the 38-yard line. Let's see who gets off the bottom of the pile for Atlantic City. Looks like 57, Malky Washington. It's a gain of a couple on the play. Third down and about 7 yards to go. The ball at the Atlantic City 38.
So this series of downs, the longest carry has been for 7 yards.
Now they need about 7.5 right now. Crescenzi's wide to the top of the screen. There is the handoff to Hardy. Fumbled the football. It's loose, and Atlantic City has the ball, I believe. Hart was just stripped. The ball stripped away from him. A good defensive play there by Sean Simon, again, number 75, who pulled that ball away. So it'll be Atlantic City football. First down, 10 yards to go at their own 34-yard line.
That's a third fumble by Vineland, a third recovery by Atlantic City.
It's helped stop some of the Vineland drives, that's for sure. Matt Overs goes to the top of the screen. Everyone, we have a swing back. Corey Landing is slotted to the left. There's a handoff to Henderson. Henderson cuts back inside. Henderson still running down at about the 39-yard line. Picked up about 4 or 5 on the play. Hart made the stop, Kevin Hart for Vineland High School.
Yeah, Jim, I had Henderson for 7 carries for 71 yards at first half.
He's impressive, Tony. He really is. But as you mentioned, he was doing a lot of mixed direction plays against the Vineland defense, and that was might have been a busted play to some degree, but he was able to bring it up for pickup of about 5, second down and a long 5. He's got Corey Landing winged on the right side. Top of the screen is Overs. There's a handoff going to the first man through. Still running with the football is Jermaine Harvey. Jermaine is down to the Vineland 46-yard line. He's finally stopped there by Fabio Galva, number 30.
Well, you know, it looked like he was stopped at the line of scrimmage. Then it looked like he made 2 yards and was stopped, and he just kept moving.
Yes, he did. Good second effort.
I'd like to have some idea how big Jermaine is, because he looks like a big boy.
Yes, he does.
So we have no idea his size and weight. He's hard to knock down.
Overs to the top of the screen, wing to the right is pass out to Overs. Overs the 40, inside the 40 down about the 36-yard line before he was brought down, and I believe it was Galva. And I also thought I saw number 64, Lapsley, over there for Vineland High School.
Probably did, because Lapsley covers a lot of ground. Now it's Atlantic City on the move.
Yes, they are. They're down at the Vineland 36-yard line. Henry Green calling the signals. Green hands it off. First man, Jermaine Harvey, and he goes nowhere. Maybe dropped, actually, for a yard loss.
And the ball and the tacklers got there at the same time. It looked like number 43 for Vineland made the initial.
It was Willie Hart. So Willie Hart making the stop for Vineland. Second down and loss of about 2. Second and 12 for Atlantic City. They have it at the Vineland High School 36-yard line.
Jim Walters in that defensive secondary, too, out here on the left.
Back. Green throwing it for Overs. Overs has it, and he's in for a score. What a great pass by Green to Overs, and Overs goes in and scores. It's a 36, Tony, or 37? 37-yard pass here in the third quarter at the 5:52 mark. 37-yard pass from Green to Overs. And that was a very nice pass, as you could see. It was just right in there. Overs making a good catch and going in for the score. So Atlantic City now leading it by 6-3 score, and the Vikings are going to attempt an extra point. Number 10 looks like it's the guy that'll do the kicking. There's a snap. The kick is up, and the kick looks to be good. The kick is good. And as soon as we find out, it's Dan McGann. Dan McGann, M-C-G-A-N-N, made the extra point kick. So Atlantic City now up by a score of 7-3. We'll be back with the Viking kickoff right after this message. Jim Quinn along with Tony DeRazio back here at Catone Stadium as you see some of the Vineland crowd here for today's game. And there is the kick. It's a good kick. Taken by Hicks. Hicks across the 30, 35, and up to about the 38-yard line. He's tackled there.
Well, you know, right now...
It was Sean Simon making the tackle.
Yeah, they did a Sean Simon, they got a Sean Harris. The two bright spots so far for Vineland has been that 50-yard fumble that was picked in the air by Hickson. He went 55 yards where they caught him from the rear. And of course, that 25-yard field goal in the opening moments of the game, and that's been the bright spot, and that's been the only spot.
Sure has, hasn't it, Tony? The Vineland get on track with the wishbone formation. There's the handoff to Kevin Hart. Hart gets across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Again, Sean Simon, number 75, down there making the stop. Sean played last year for Holy Spirit, Tony said, and transferred in, and he certainly got some of the winning ways that the Holy Spirit shows on the field, and he's done a great job for Atlantic City on that defensive line. Crescenzi is split to the top of the screen. We've got a wishbone. Viso keeps it himself, and he's across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Vince Ireland making the stop for the Vikings, along with, again, Sean Simon, 75.
Well, you know, when I went out to the stands at halftime, there were a lot of scouts in there, of course, from Absagami, who they've combined plays next week, and Holy Spirit. Vineland plays 2 weeks from now. Everybody's scouting. So they're going to come up with some changes.
Joe Crescenzi splits wide to the top of the screen. Chris Vizzo, the quarterback, with a wishbone. Everybody else is in tight. Vizzo calling the signals. Vizzo hands it off to the second man coming through. That's Kevin Hart. And Hart has a first down and then some down to Atlantic City territory at the Atlantic City 44-yard line before he's stopped by Corey Landing. So 1st and 10 for the Fighting Clan at the Atlantic City 44. Vineland needs to get a march going and sustain that march. There's 4:11 remaining in the third quarter. Atlantic City leading Vineland 7-3. Joe Crescenzi, top of the screen, wishbone with Chris Vizzo calling the signals. Vizzo hands it to the second man coming through, William Hicks. He breaks into the secondary and is finally pulled down. And making a saving tackle was William Brown, or Hicks would have gone all the way, Tony.
Yeah, that's a 17-yard carry for Hicks. That's only the first time he's carried in this half. But he makes 17 yards. And Vineland's had more first downs in this quarter than they had the whole first half.
So Atlantic City calls a timeout. There's a timeout on the field with a score. The Atlantic City Vikings 7, the Vineland Fighting Clan 3. We'll be back in a moment. Jim Quinn, Tony DeRazio at Catone Stadium, Vineland. Chris Vizzo calling the signals. Chris hands it off to Galva. Galva down to the 25-yard line. He is brought down by Sean Harris.
You know, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That was a good move by Atlantic City's Bob Weiss. Vineland was moving down the field. He called timeout, try to calm things down a little bit, calm down his players, at the same time try to cool off Vineland a little bit.
Yes, it was probably a good timeout. Joe Crescenzi to the top of the screen, wishbone formation. Chris Vizzo is the quarterback. He's calling the signals. Vizzo hands the ball off to William Hicks, and Hicks has stood up, picked up maybe a yard on that play. Again, I think it was Pavlik, 72.
Yeah, Pavlik can make a lot of tackles in there. And, you know, if you notice, they passed for 13 times in the first half. Vineland completed 1 for 13. So far in the third quarter, they have not passed at all. Not that it might not be a good spot to do it with 3rd and 6, but we'll see.
Haydak comes to the bottom of the screen, and Chris Vizzo, the quarterback. Vizzo with the option play rolling. He's got, not quite enough for first down. He's sacked hard at about the 21-yard line. Good defensive play by Sean Simon. Boy, he's been all over the field for Atlantic City. So it's going to be 4th down now, Tony. A big 4th down play here for the Clan. They've got it 4th and about 3 at the 22 of Atlantic City.
You know, that was why heads-up play on the part of Simon and the rest of Atlantic City secondary, because Rizzo hasn't carried the ball that often.
No, he hasn't.
You know, he had twice the first half. First game, he only carried once, and they were alert to that.
So we've got the wishbone, Crescenzi to the bottom of their screen. You see him right there to the left-hand part of your screen. Bizzo hands it off, looking like he may have a first down with the ball. Kevin Hart. First down, 10 yards to go. Vineland. Hart running hard off of that right side. Getting some blocking there from Milt Morris. Robert Haydack. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Fighting Clan. They have it down at the Atlantic City 18-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go at the 18.
Well, this is more like it, coming down the field the way they are. They haven't mixed it up, of course. They have mixed it up with the runners, but they haven't thrown any passes in there yet. But everybody's carried the ball.
And there it goes inside to Hart. Hart gets down to the 10-yard line before Bill Pavlik brings him down.
Well, these are plays now in the first half. They were eating the pigskin.
Yep.
They're coming right back at them. Hart and Hicks are having difficulty getting through there. I wonder what happened to Buckaloo.
I don't know. Galva's in at fullback with Hart and Hicks, your halfbacks. Chris Bizzo is the quarterback. Crescenzi is to the left side. And he hands it off to Galva. Galva down around the 6 or 7-yard line, I guess, is where they're going to stack him up. Looks like the Atlantic City defense getting a little bit tired. They've been on the field for quite a drive now. Making the stop for Atlantic City was Malky Washington, number 57. So the good thing is Vineland only needs a yard, Tony, for a first down, and they only need about, 8 yards for a touchdown.
Right, 3rd and 1.
Wishbone formation. Chris Bizzo calling the signals. Hands it off to Hart. Hart goes off the right side, picks up the first down, and is down around the 5 or 6 yard line. Hart running it. Again, it was Sean Simon who made the stop.
It seems like, well, according to the articles anyway about Atlantic City, he only had about 35 men throughout. They're playing football for Atlantic City. Vineland seems to have a few more, but maybe Atlantic City has more men going 2 ways.
Yeah, it could be.
As by the start getting near the end of the game, it starts to wear out a little bit.
Okay, 1st and goal from the 5. Bizzo calling the signals. Bizzo pitches the ball back and going wide and in to score for Vineland High. William Hicks takes it in from 5 yards out with 33 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter. So Vineland goes back on top by a score of 9-7. Coming in, Greg Loftus will do the extra point kicking.
They didn't throw a pass at all during that sequence down.
No, they looked great, Tony. It was good running. Bernhardt will hold. There's the snap, the placement. The kick is up. The kick looks to be good. It is. The kick is good. Vineland 10, Atlantic City 7. We'll be back with more right after this message. Jim Quinn, Tony Terrazio at Gatone Stadium. Tony, how about that interesting stat you have here?
Vineland carried the ball 19 times in the 3rd quarter, only carried the ball 16 times in the 1st half.
Wow.
Of course, that resulted in the score.
It sure did. There's Milt Morris's kickoff, taken at the 20-yard line. 25, 30, and knocked out of bounds at about the 32-yard line.
Jimmy Walters, number 32.
We're trying to see who 28 is. No, it's Fred Barley was the ball carrier. Fred Barley. Luckily, he's first on our program because his last name starts with a B.
Yeah.
If his last name started with a W, he would be last on the program.
Now, Vineland High cheerleaders elected at the halftime for Penny of Multiple Sclerosis campaign, and this year the Vineland candidate is number 84, Joe Crescenzi. You can send that money or donations for Penny of Votes for Multiple Sclerosis to Vineland High School. Care of the cheerleaders.
Okay. Henry Green, and he hands it off to Henderson, but he is stopped. Good defensive play for Vineland by number 43, Willie Hart. 6-yard loss on the play, so it's going to be 2nd down and 16. Vineland back on top. They were leading at 3-0 through the whole 1st half, and then at 5:52 in the 3rd quarter, a Green to Overs pass put the Vikings on the board 6-3. Dan McGann's extra point made it 7-3, but Vineland came right back and scored With 33 seconds here in the third quarter, on a 5-yard run by Hicks and the kick by Loftus, and that's where we are at 10-7. The end of the third quarter. We'll be back with the fourth quarter in just a moment. Okay, we are told that number 30 is Tony Basil. We just found that out. We thank you. Green's pass intended for over is way over his head and out of bounds.
Yeah, we got that information courtesy of Robin Daplin from the radio, 1270.
That's right.
He told us number 30 is not Gallup, the number can change, and that's Tony Basil doing the running. He's done very well.
Okay, Tony is number 20 on the program, but he's 30 on the field. So our apologies to Tony Basil, but he's done, as Tony mentioned, really well carrying the ball. So it's third down now for Atlantic City, 16 to go. They have the ball at their own 26-yard line. Brian Weiner splits wide out on the right side. Overs is slotted on the right. There's the quarterback keeper, and going not too far was Henry with the football, Henry Green.
John Buckle was good stopping him about a 2-yard gain.
So now Atlantic City will have to punt the football. It's going to be fourth down and about 12 yards to go. The ball at the 29. Atlantic City has at their own 29-yard line. Luke Giacchio will do the kicking. Giacchio gets the kick away, taken on the run by Vineland at midfield into Atlantic City territory. The ball carrier was John Buckaloo. So he's okay. He just hasn't been starting at fullback in the second half.
Just using the second linebacker. I'd like to mention about the Vineland High School All Sports Club, Jim. In operation now for about the second and third year, actually. And we're going to talk a little bit more about it because it's an interesting thing.
You've got the wishbone formation. Crescenzi is down to the bottom of the screen, out of your picture just slightly. There's the handoff going to the second man coming through with the football is Hicks. And William Hicks carries it for about 3 yards, gets down around the 46-yard line of Atlantic City.
Last year they called it the battle for Vineland High School. Put that out there, and the program looking for the games and representing the concession stands for Vineland High School All Sports Booster Club.
We have the wishbone with Crescenzi at the top of the screen. Bizzo with the ball. He's going to keep it himself, turns inside, and is knocked down hard at the 43-yard line, but bounces right back up. Number 2, Wayne Williams, along with Sean Simon there to make the stop for Atlantic City.
And the Vineland All Sports Booster Club has also established a Hall of Fame in the first entrance into that Lisa Highway. Professor Hank Mazzonia and posthumously football player Angelo Archi-Trento.
Third down and 4 for the Fighting Clan. Vizzo with the football, hands it off to Hart into the secondary. He's going to go all the way for a touchdown. 10-5, score! Hart for the score. Kevin Hart from 42 yards out. Vineland now really coming alive. .9:55 into the fourth quarter. And Kevin Hart raced around the right side and went 42 yards for the score.
Where was that 104?
Well, I don't know, Tony. It was nice to see that time. Greg Loftus will attempt the extra point. So far, his kicks have been great, and this one is no exception. Loftus's extra point kick is good. And Vineland High 17, Atlantic City 7. We'll be back with the Fighting Clan kickoff right after this message. Jim Quinn, Tony DeRazio, Gatone Stadium, Vineland. Vineland High now up by 17-7. Score. Milt Morris is going to kick off for the Fighting Clan. Milt's got a good kickoff, but it's angling towards the out-of-bounds line. It goes out of bounds. It'll be a penalty flag as the referee, instead of throwing his flag, threw his handkerchief on that one. He caught it.
Whatever your thing is. While we have this little brief time to bring the ball back, the Hall of Fame committee for the Booster Club is accepting nominations for a 1989 induction. Send your suggestions to the All Sports Booster Club Hall of Fame Committee, Box 2122. That's Box 2122, South Vineland, New Jersey, 08360. Again, if you have any nominations for a 1989 induction into the Vineland High School All Sports Booster Club Hall of Fame, send your suggestions to the All Sports Booster Club Hall of Fame Committee, Box 2122, South Vineland, New Jersey, 08360. And the first chance we get, we'll get the president of the Booster Club to say a few words about the Booster Club. That's Skip Wright.
Milt Morris's kick this time, taking it about the 13-yard line. Corey Landing across the 20, 25, 30, and 35, and is drugged down from behind at about the 37-yard line. Tony Basile, number 30, was there to bring him down. Also helping out on the play was number 62, Derek Ducharme. First down, 10 yards to go for the Atlantic City Vikings. Henry Green brings his team up. Green hands it off to James Henderson. Henderson breaks one tackle, breaks another tackle, zigs back inside. And it's up to about the 43-yard line before he's brought down by Dean Castellini, number 34 for Vineland High School.
Skip, how about you tell us a little bit about the Booster Club? I mentioned it. Well, they're going real quick here. Well, not even a huddle. Look at this.
This is unusual.
It sure is.
There's
a
flags
flag,
down,
too.
Illegal procedure.
Yeah.
And the pass was caught, though, Tony.
I know, but it better be
it's not going to be any good. Corey Landing caught it, but that's going to be nullified. Now you can talk to Skip.
Okay, Skip. You're the president of the All Sports Booster Club, and I did mention about the Hall of Fame. Anything else you'd like to tell us about the Booster Club?
Yeah, Tony, this is the third year now we've been in existence, and at the end of the year we have a banquet for all the seniors who participated in all the sports, and all the money our club generates, it goes towards that banquet. We give all the kids a nice plaque, and we give them a free dinner. It's a fun night out for all the athletes and their parents.
Well, when you say everything we do, sure, I know that's from running the concession stands, we're selling the program books, and we've got ads in our program books, and we gladly take ads from everyone that would like to put an ad in our in the ad book. And I think our program book is a little different than most schools, because we're going to have something. Every game we'll have quite a bit of information about the opponents and about Vineland, rather than just an insert.
Oh, that's correct, Tony. And I would like to personally thank all the sponsors who did take an ad in our program. It is a nice program, and we make them available for each game. And if it wasn't for all those supporters of our program book, it wouldn't go as good as it did. So we do thank all our sponsors very much for their time and their money and their efforts.
Okay, Skip, thanks a lot. Oh, there goes Henderson up the middle from the 35. He goes over into the Vineland side up to the 48-yard line, Jim.
Okay, Atlantic City coming up with the big play. James Henderson has been an exceptional runner for them today, and they keep their drive alive. They bring it to the Vineland 48-yard line. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go for Atlantic City. With 8 minutes, 27 seconds remaining in the game, the Vikings playing on top 17-7.
But I thought that run they've been holding Henderson in check the second half.
Yeah, they have, Tony. That was his first good run he's been able to come up with in this second half. There's the handoff going off the left side with number 36, Jermaine Harvey. We have a guest in our booth with us, and he's Bobby Patterson. Bobby is number 11, Wilmington Wheels, hockey, ice hockey. Bobby's from Vineland. He's 9 years old, 10 now, Martin, 9. And Bobby plays ice hockey. Get into football. And it's John Serra's grandson. Everybody knows John Serra, one of the best salespeople I know. John is always domestic. Okay, Jermaine Harvey hands it off. He doesn't go very far. He's stacked up there. Good defensive play by John Hersey.
Well, the funny thing about this Jermaine Harvey, when he runs like a scat back. He sort of hides behind people, and then he shoots out on one side or the other. You see a little back doing that, but not a back the size of Harvey.
No, you're right. He's pretty good size.
He's not a straight-ahead runner until he establishes his route. Then he really can try to play off.
Third down and about 5 to go for a first down. The ball is spotted at the Vineland High School 43-yard line. Henry Green, the quarterback, calling the signals. Green is looking to throw the football. He's got some time. He unloads it. It's incomplete as he was hit, I think, as he tried to get it away. The intended receiver was number 15, Matt Overs. Good coverage on the play for Vineland. One of the people over there to cover was number 32, Jim Walters.
Yeah, they had Hart in front of him and Walters behind him. Of course, if he caught it in between him, that'd be a problem. But one of the problems Vineland has in the secondary is that their size. They're kind of short. And the offensive man is going to have a problem. They have numbers problem out in the field right now.
They do. Luke. The snap is no good. I don't know whether they were going to go fake punt, Tony, that or not.
Yeah, it was a fake punt. They were snapping the ball short to the up man, and it bounced off his chest, off the chest of number 20.
Right, that's Craig Slotoroff. Craig Slotoroff, the up man, couldn't handle it, and it came home. So Vineland High has the football. They have the lead. There's only 6:38 remaining in the football game. Vineland High School football on Channel 2. Being brought to you by Jiffy Lube, Kelsey Drive and Park Avenue in Vineland. Great place to go for that oil change and lube and all the services for your car. There's Tony Basile. Good running by Basile as he goes down. They're going to mark it just in Atlantic City territory at the 49-yard line to pick up a 5. It'll be 2nd down 5 for the Fighting Clan. Seals looks really good. We were calling him Galva until Robin Dapplin let us know it was Tony Basile because Galva's number 30 in the program. Basile is 5'10", 160-pound sophomore. Boy, he looks good.
Picked up 30 yards so far.
Another wishbone formation, 2 receivers. Flags all over the place.
Flag day.
Chris Rizzo going all the way down to score, but I think the flag is dead against Vineland. Procedure. Says Chris got a lot of excitement there in case it just happened. It was not a bad idea. It never hurts. Play off.
But two Vineland backs both came towards the line at the same time.
So the 2nd down and 10, the ball goes right back to the original line of scrimmage at the 45.5-yard line. 2nd down, 10 yards to go. Next week, Vineland High School will be traveling down to Absegami, and Robin Dapplin and Matt Birmingham will be bringing the audio portion of the game because on the away games, at times, they're going to be doing the audio for us for the simulcast from WFHN, AM 1270, the new home of Vineland High School football. The wishbone formation in the backfield. Chris Rizzo calling his signals. Chris hands it off to Tony Basile going straight ahead. Picks up maybe a yard or 2 at the very most. Made the stop. So it's going to be yard of the play. 3rd down and 9 for the Fighting Clan. But they're up by 10, 17-7. There's 5 minutes, 27 seconds remaining in the football game.
I'd like to see him make another touchdown. At least move down the field.
You're right, Tony. Nice.
They need that.
There's the pitch that is fumbled. Rizzo covers this pitch that was dropped. So it will be 4th down now, punting situation for the Fighting Clan. Coming in to do the punting is Robert Haydack. Back to receive that punt for Atlantic City will be number 15, Matt Overs.
So far, the second half, there's been no passing by Vineland.
No, they've had pretty good success running the ball with the exception of these last couple of plays. Here's the rush on, but Haydack gets it away. It's a good kick. Overs calls for a fair catch and takes it at the 24-yard line. Joe Crescenzi was right on top of him. So Atlantic City going for the block. They didn't come up with it, though. Haydack got the kick away, and Atlantic City will take over at their own 24-yard line. Vineland up 17-7. Vineland High School football on Channel 2, being brought to you in part by Bob's Auto Supply. Bob Nelson at 1289 South Kelsey Drive in Vineland. They've got everything for your car repair, tires, tune-ups, you name it, they can do it for you, and they do it very well at Bob's Auto Supply. 1289 South Kelsey Drive in Vineland. We welcome Bob Nelson as a new sponsor to Channel 2 football. We thank him for his sponsorship, as do we all the other sponsors. There's the handoff to Jermaine Harvey. And Harvey stacked up the 35-yard line. Some good defensive hitting over there for Vineland. Number 72, Milt Morris, making a stop. Also coming up was Jimmy Walters. About a 2-yard gain, 2nd down at 8. The ball at the 26 of Atlantic City.
Now they're really starting to put some tackles up against the Atlantic City, especially Harvey. Harvey's a tough man to stop as well as Henderson. Now,
And the official,
referee's time, yeah. Something's wrong with one of the halfbacks.
Jermaine Harvey's having a little bit of an equipment problem. Vineland High School football on Channel 2 being brought to you by the Cumberland County Democratic Organization, who urge you to re-elect Bill Hughes for Congress. My running mate Bill Biondi and yours truly Jim Quinn for freeholder, and elect Nancy St. John Surrogate on November the 8th. There's the handoff to Henderson, breaks into the secondary, still running, across the 30, about the 32-yard line. Lashley actually got an arm around his leg to bring him down. So it'll be third down now and about 4 yards to go. Henderson's an exciting runner.
When they run that trap, he gets through there.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he, Tony? He picks the holes well and is able to move with the football. Celebrating 75 years in the Vineland area, it's Minatola National Bank with many offices throughout Vineland and Minatola to serve you. Back to pass. He dumps it out complete, but I don't think it's going to be, nowhere near enough for a first down. Complete to Harvey, but good defense by Lashley again, wasn't it? Yes. No gain. Pass, the gain's nothing.
That was the original line of scrimmage.
Yep.
Well, just as well he threw it away. At least he got to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
It would have been sacked back there.
Exactly. So fourth down punting situation for Atlantic City. There's only 2:52 remaining in the game. Vineland 17, Atlantic City 7. Luke Giacchio standing at his own 19. Giacchio will get the snap. He's got the ball. He gets the kick away. It's a nice high kick. And it takes a Vineland bounce. And it comes to the 49, so not very much distance for that kick, only about 20 yards or so. So it'll be first down, 10 yards to go for the Fighting Clan. They've got the lead, and they've got the clock on their side. Just 2:32 to go. And don't forget, all Vineland High School football games are shown on Channel 2 at 6 o'clock Saturday, 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon. So be sure to tune in next week for the Vineland Apsigani game. It'll be on 6 o'clock Saturday night and 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. Chris Vizzo, the quarterback. He's got Crescenzi at the top of the screen. Vizzo hands it off to Tony DeSeal. DeSeal running. Gets inside the 45, down to about the 44-yard line. On Simon again, and on the stop.
He and Pavlik do a lot of tackling.
They do, don't they?
Well, Vineland High School JV team will play on Monday here at Cantone Stadium. They're playing Atlantic City. The game time is 4 o'clock. Come on out.
Wishbone formation. Crescenzi to the bottom of the screen. Handoff again, goes to DeSeal, and he's stacked up after maybe a yard or so gain. Pavlik 80 or 72, and 86 is also in there. Vince Ireland.
Every once in a while, once too often now. It seems like they're running the same position now.
Well, it's burning up the clock, Tony, which is good. Down about a minute 29 to go. Third down, they need about 4. If they can get a first down here, they can pretty much wrap it up. Although I think at this point, it's been wrapped up since they scored that touchdown, 9:55 to go.
I can get a hold of Burns, Hart, Hicks.
They give it to DeSeal again. He goes straight ahead, a little bit short of the first down, about a yard or so. Sean Simon again, 75, has played an excellent game for Atlantic City today, making that stop. Fourth down at about a yard. 1 minute, under a minute, clock running here in the football game. Vineland's going to win it. It's John Donnelly coming in the ball game for the Fighting Clan, number 80. The wishbone formation. Chris Vizzo, the quarterback. Joe Crescenzi to the right of your screen. There's a handoff to Tony DeSeal. DeSeal very close to a first down. Looks like from here he has it. They have to have a measure. They're making the stop with Bill Pavlik, number 72 for Atlantic City. Atlantic City's a lot better team, Tony, than they've been in the past. I think that there's a little more discipline. There's some quality players out there for them, but Vineland was just too much for them this afternoon, especially once Vineland got that running attack going in the second half.
Yeah, again, compared to last week, Vineland didn't look as good in the first half as they did against the number two. Again, Vineland, of course, passed the first half, 113, the passing wasn't connecting with these with Crescenzi and some of the other, maybe some of the backs out the backfield, and Haydack, first pass of the game was thrown to Haydack just out of the screen.
Yeah.
That dictates a lot there.
Well, there you see the inset there to the left of your screen, left corner, showing the time left. Vineland did get the first down. Again, Tony Basile just being the workhorse here as they want to just keep it straight ahead, run out the clock, and you see the clock running down with just 11 seconds, 10. Vineland High School football on Channel 2 has been a Jim Quinn Associates production, produced by Paul Keller Television. 2-1, and it's all over. Vineland High School wins it this afternoon over Atlantic City by a score of 17-7. Vineland High School football on Channel 2 has been brought to you by Minatola National Bank, with 75-year anniversary going on this year. Miles Appliance, 3435 South Dulcie Drive in Vineland, by the Cumberland County Democratic Organization, who urge you to re-elect Bill Hughes to Congress. Bill Biondi, yours truly, Jim Quinn, for freeholder, and elect Nancy Sanjena surrogate. By Jiffy Lube, Dulcie Drive and Park Avenue in Vineland. By Executive Business Products, 210 Landis Avenue, Vineland. By Lurco Fuel Oil Company for 24-hour-a-day fuel oil delivery. Call them at 696-8888, and they're at 520 Chestnut Avenue in Vineland. And by Bob Nelson of Bob's Auto Supply, 1289 South Dulcie Drive in Vineland. There you see the final score.